TGIF, it's Friday, the 17th day of February, 2023. Your podcast brought to you today by Cowboy State Daily and WYDOT. Well, enjoy the next couple of days because the weather is going to be, well, pretty nice. It'll still be a little bit windy out there in some areas, especially in parts of Wyoming, the usual wind-prone areas. The winds are going to be a little bit gusty, the I-25, I-80 corridors, but there'll be Chinook winds. So in the region, temperatures along and east of the divide will be a little bit warmer, and we'll have a mix of high clouds and sun, a nice little break in the weather. Now, there's a quick shot of mountain snow that'll be rolling through the northern Rockies and part of the central Rockies Saturday night into Sunday. It won't be much, but there will be in places like Jackson, Yellowstone, the central and northern mountains of Wyoming, southern Wyoming, northern Colorado, into Idaho, northern Utah, a quick shot of snow in the higher terrain late Saturday night into Sunday morning, and some colder weather behind it. Then there's another shot of mountain snow developing during the day Monday night into Tuesday, with some snow showers and colder weather on the plains. We don't expect the temperatures to be much colder behind these fronts, a little bit though. Then late Tuesday into Wednesday, an Arctic surge is coming. Confidence is pretty high that we are going to see another round of sub-zero temperatures. This Arctic wave next week looks pretty darn impressive, considering, we're going to be into deeper into that third week of February, where these Arctic surges get a little bit less frequent. But boy, we could see these Arctic temperatures in some areas go all the way into March. So we are going to see some really, really cold weather, and we're going to see overrunning snow. Arctic air being overrun by Pacific moisture. That's going to be taking place in many areas next week, especially from really late Tuesday, probably into early Thursday. This is going to lead to hazardous livestock and travel weather conditions coming across the entire western United States and many areas of the northern plains. Could we see the northern lights next couple of nights? Yes. Get your camera ready if you are one of those that like to go out and brave the cold and maybe get some of those aurora shots. I'll show you at the end of the podcast where that could happen. Today's satellite imagery shows very little going on out west. Now, this is why you want to get outside, get some fresh air and some sunshine over the next day or two. We have a swirl of clouds here off the coast of California. That's low is kind of stuck there and will spin around. And you can see a lot of the central and western United States kind of in a gap. You can see some clouds up here. You can see the jet stream forming, wanting to make an arc headed this way, and that's what's going to develop over time. So you can see very well that low off the California coast there, the high developing, and those clouds I just showed you are forming right here along this strong, moist, energetic jet stream wind developing in the North Pacific that's going to be directed towards us here in a day or two. So enjoy today and tomorrow. There you go, through tomorrow. We do see some snow coming back up into here and into the Pacific Northwest, but the rest of the West, quiet weather. Then by Sunday morning, we have a trough and a cold front swinging through very quickly. This is the quick shot of snow in the mountains Saturday night into Sunday, and colder weather on the plains behind it. So here you can see the snow forecasted right here as that system goes through. Again, it's mainly a mountain event with maybe a little bit of snow shower activity on the plains. So fresh snow on the ski slopes for you by Sunday morning in many areas. Then by Monday night into Tuesday, strengthening northwest flow comes in. That high in the eastern Pacific gains strength. And notice how tightly packed these black lines are. This is going to be an axis of very strong jet stream winds aloft coming in from the northwest. As we told you, those northwest winds aloft coming in at the right angle, the right temperature and moisture regime to really get the snow factory going up into the mountains. And that's really going to get going as we get into Monday afternoon, Monday night into Tuesday, and into early Wednesday. Then what unfolds after that will be a shot of the Arctic air. This is round 2 of the snow. And we can see already overrunning snow is going to be forming in Montana, far northern Wyoming, out into the Dakotas as the Arctic air seeps Tuesday into those areas. But you can see the mountain snow here, and the mountain snow is taking place right here and across northwest Montana and the Pacific Northwest. So that's the second round of winter weather. Then here comes the third round. That low comes off the west coast, digs into the Great Basin states, and drags in with it some very Arctic air. And there it is. Arctic air comes in. If we go here and take a look, the Arctic air on the ground slips in basically right from those areas there south into the region. And you can see the temperature anomaly getting past I-70 by Wednesday afternoon. Moist Pacific air gets drawn in up over on top of this. That is that overrunning pattern. And look at the Arctic air. These are the forecasted temperatures by next Thursday morning. There is a lot of agreement in the trends, long range, and all the modeling of this Arctic air getting down and along and east of the divide before the low comes through. So that sets up the overrunning event, and we see sub-zero temperatures by Thursday morning all the way to Denver, pushing out across the plains. So we're rivaling January and December type temperatures right there. And when you take a look at the wind chill values, wind chills will be very cold. This is why livestock interest late Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday of next week, especially in Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, and parts of northern Colorado, need to be prepared for some pretty harsh winter conditions during that time frame. This is the third round of snow. I'm not adding the first two coming on through. And you can see there's a broad area here, kind of an arch, of where the overrunning precipitation is going to be. Now, I would not be surprised if this heavier overrunning precipitation gets shifted further south. That's usually the case this far out. The modeling is kind of too far north with the Arctic air. So what will happen is that axis somewhere along and north and south of this line is where the heavier snow is going to be in that overrunning situation. So there's going to be significant snow coming over that Arctic boundary and with that Arctic boundary and those Arctic temperatures. By next Saturday, the trough is kind of getting elongated and moving on through, but the cold air still resides. And we continue to have a strong, very energetic jet stream coming in from the Pacific. So there is going to be not only a lot of weather this week, there is going to be more weather this coming week and the week after that. So it's going to be a couple of weeks here of a lot of winter coming our way. This is the temperature anomaly by next weekend. There's no significant warm up once that Arctic air comes in. And remember, if we put more snow on the ground, that exacerbates the cold as well. And if you look at the 10-day cumulative temperature regime, you can see how cold the north central and the western areas of the United States, how cold it will be relative to the 30-year average. That's a pretty cold stretch coming our way, while the East Coast and the Southeast, well, they get to be the happy place in terms of the warm, sunny conditions. Quickly, Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights. Possible? Yes, we've got a lot of very, very active sunspot activity on the sun right now. And a couple of days ago, we had a coronal mass ejection. So there's a geomagnetic storm watch coming up today and into tomorrow. So there is a fairly good possibility of northern lights across North America the next couple of nights. We all know how finicky these are. There's really no guarantee you're going to see them, other than to tell you the possibility of them occurring is certainly going to be higher than a normal day. And if you look at this animation, I want you to look at the middle graphic here. That yellow dot is the sun, and the coronal mass ejection is that thing that looks like a bow right there that is coming on through. So that excites the upper levels of the atmosphere, and you get your Aurora Borealis. So it's not a direct hit from the coronal mass ejection, but a glancing blow. And if you're willing to brave the cold nighttime temperatures, we won't have too many clouds tonight. And so it might be a good opportunity. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll have an update for you on Monday with all this winter weather that's coming.